Welcome back. We're going to finish up with a real quick lecture around substance abuse. I really appreciate you hanging in there with me. Let's go ahead and jump on in. What I wanted to share with you is that, first off, everyone in adolescence that partakes in either some type of substance, whether it be alcohol or drugs, there's variance in what we would categorize them by. So we have our non users who don't ever use anything, and then we have our experimental users or occasional users, and then we have abusers. So being mindful of the fact that even though children might partake in substances in adolescence, it doesn't automatically make them abuser. Sometimes it just is labeled as an occasional experimenter. And as we can see in this graph down below, I have kind of made it for you to see how it changes over time. We have 8th grade, 10th grade, and 12th grade. And what we see is this is actually asking them to fill out a survey for what they have partaked in. It is within the last 60 days. So looking at it for alcohol, we can see that, almost 50% of adolescents in 12th grade are partaking in some kind of alcohol. We can also see that, vaping is relatively high in high school, around 20%, and cannabis is about 25%. Narcotics that are not heroin are pretty low, and we don't see them at all in 8th grade and 10th grade. But we do see this increase over time, right? So we see initially around 8th grade some kind of experimental use, and then there's kind of an uptick around 10th grade, and it kind of peaks around 12th grade for adolescents. So it's just something to be mindful of when we think about supporting adolescents and substance abuse. Again, not everybody being an abuser. We do anticipate with impulse control and lack of planning and curiosity that there's going to be some occasional experimenters. When we think about why there's substance abuse, obviously there's some issues around weak executive functioning. We know that their prefrontal cortex is not all the way developed yet. So we have those impulse control issues and being able to plan ahead and also think about consequences. Culture also plays a large part. We think about what culture we're raising our adolescents in the United States. It's not uncommon for adults to partake in substances such as caffeine to stay awake, or alcohol, or cigarettes, or cannabis to relax. All of those things are pretty normal in our culture. So it's something that's being modeled to them on a regular basis. Another thing that's impactful is school performance. We see a correlation with children who do not perform as well in school using substances more regularly. Family mental health is another issue where we're going to see an uptick in substance abuse. If there's family mental health issues in the home, they're going to be more likely to have a substance abuse issue. Lower socioeconomic status also correlates with more substance abuse. And the last one, abuse, actually has two pieces to it. So we have family substance abuse. If you have a family member that lives in the house with you that abuses substances, you're going to be more likely to have a substance abuse issue. And also, if you experience any kind of physical abuse or sexual abuse yourself, you're going to be more likely to have a substance abuse issue. Right? So a lot of contributing factors there to be mindful of. When we think about how we're going to prevent and treat, kind of the why and how. So why do we even want to make sure we kind of try and tackle this issue? Is because at this point in time, they failed to learn how to make responsible decisions. We want to demonstrate adjustment problems. They typically have adjustment problems around anxiety and depression. So we want to make sure we mitigate that some by treatment. We also know that if there's substance abuse issues, there's decreased levels of cognitive function, and we want to make sure that we're trying to mitigate that as well. And if you're using substances, you're also more likely to be engaging in antisocial behaviors. So how do we even go about prevention and treatment? And the first thing is we want to make sure that we have a very strong school and community program. Elements of that include promoting effective parenting. So parents understanding how to be supportive, how to have open conversation. We need to make sure that adolescents have clear behavioral expectations and knowing what's expected of them and what is acceptable behavior and what is not. There's also a big part of just monitoring teenage behavior, right? Understanding where the teenagers are going, who they're hanging out with, what's popular. All of those pieces are important to being able to support adolescents. Another one is going to make sure that we're building social and emotional competence, and this is really to resist peer pressure. There's a reality that adolescents will be exposed to all of these pieces, and we want to make sure that they are prepared to say no if they want to say no, and be able to leave a situation and understand they're making decisions for themselves and not for their peers. So that's what that gets to. There's also a piece around emphasizing the health and safety risks. So having them have a clear, very, very clear understanding of what could happen if they do engage in these substances so they can make an informed decision. We also want to make sure that they learn how to manage their own life stressors. Again, because even as adults, like I said before, we're modeling how to use these substances to relax. And so for learning really early on in adolescence that there's other ways to manage your stress than engage in substance abuse. And then, of course, giving them something else to do, that last piece, providing recreational alternatives. If adolescents don't have anything to do, they're going to be more likely to engage in these elements is substance abuse because they don't have anything else to do. So if they have alternatives like school dances or sports activities or clubs, they're going to be more likely actively, positively engaged in something else, right? All right, with that, that is our lecture. Thank you for hanging there with me. I'm going to come back. We're going to do a watch and work together around health issues in adolescents. I'll see you there.